Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kwakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone Real Well, and the Akim on the highways and byways pushing the works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in sincerity and truth. This is Brother Nesha DC Camp with another short lesson to edify the hopeful elect. And you can already tell Esau's always about his sword, So it all goes back to prophecy. You can't ignore it. It's always going to be the foundation of Esau's existence, all right, to hold on to his blessing. And when you read Genesis chapter 27 from verses 38 all the way to 40, it gives you a clear idea of what Esau's all about. So it doesn't matter if Esau is at the bottom of the totem pole, if it's at the top, same mindset that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai spoke of by the mouth of Isaac, and that's Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation. When the birthright was going to be distributed, the blessings was going to be distributed. You know, Esau Esau got what the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai decided he was going to get. And that's how you could tell who the Israelites are. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans versus who the Edomites are. And Esau doesn't want to talk about who the Edomites are. Always want to avoid the topic. You hear about all these policies that he's developing in his government structures. You hear about hate speech. You hear about having permits to protest, having permits to preach and all that stuff on the streets. So that's Esau for you, man. So whatever it takes to hide his identity, he will do it. So I'm going to read this precept and play a video just to show you the historical fact concerning Esau and his blessing. Genesis chapter 27 verse 38, and Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, O father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. All right, so he felt very disappointed that Jacob took his place, and that's according to the prophecy of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, that the elder shall serve the younger. All right, verse 39. Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. And that's exactly what Esau is enjoying right now. Even though the earth is in a terrible shape, Esau is still at the top of things. He still pulls the strings, all right? He's got the access to the resources of the earth. And then it says, and of the dew of heaven from above. So Esau's controlling so much stuff, all right? So language for all these aviation, practitioners, the official language is English, all right? And that's how Esau is, man. He likes to project his power upon the people, upon the face of the earth. Just like the eagle, likes to hover above all the birds, like to be up there. That's the same mindset that Esau has. That's the mindset that Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash gave unto these Edomites. They don't want to be at the bottom, they want to be at the top at all times. And they're proud and arrogant. All right, and that's how the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai created these Edomites, man. And the ones that lose out, of enjoying the blessings, hey, that's on them. All right, so they're basically two-time losers. Okay, and then verse 40 says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And that's what Esau's always been about, his weapon systems. You have all these military contractors and private contractors. They're always doing research to create new weapons, more innovations to create weapons, to advance their agenda, to strengthen their dominion upon the face of the earth, to have that solid iron grip. And that's what Esau's always been about, man. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So ever since the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah allowed these Edomites, to come up out of the low estate that they were during the Dark Ages, they've gotten more power than the Roman Empire. All right, since America is in modern day Rome, it's much more stronger, you know, thousands of times than the Roman Empire. So you could tell, man, that it's a beautiful thing to see the progression of prophecy. All right, and then you could see all the damage that Esau has done upon the face of the earth. The whole world is in shambles, man. So much pollution. All right, just because Esau wants to make a living, he wants to live a wealthy lifestyle, he wants to be in control. That's why he chose to live by the sword. He's not a good negotiator. He's a good destroyer. I won't want to say good, but he is a perfect destroyer. All right, on a carnal level. So I'm gonna play this video real quick. You have a good idea of the points that the scripture is referring to.
July 1947. The war is through, and a global power shift has made the United States a military superpower. To maintain that status, Harry Truman and his cabinet created the National Military Establishment, renamed in 1949 the Department of Defense. It houses a standing army unlike any the world has seen before, and commands that fighting force from a new home, the Pentagon, finished in 1943. But even as post-war military spending bottomed out in 1949, another budget climb was on the way. By 1952, it topped $500 billion adjusted for inflation. That's a spending level matched only twice in the time since. The new priority, halting the spread of communism. The Korean War and the beginning of the Cold War with the Soviet Union would dictate American military spending for the next 4 decades.
Our homes, our nation, all the things we believe in are in great danger. This danger has been created by the rulers of the Soviet Union. We will build up our own army, navy, and air force, and make more weapons for ourselves and our allies.
By 1953, as many as 1 million Korean, Chinese, American, Soviet, and British soldiers were dead or missing. In Washington, a new president took office, former General Dwight Eisenhower, a Republican. Despite his military background, Eisenhower oversaw a steep decline in defense spending. By the end of his 8 years, he cut the Pentagon's budget by more than $200 billion in today's dollars, and delivered high-profile warnings about future military buildup.
Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry.
And that's one thing, there is no plan to upset the prophecy of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. All that agenda to cut the budget didn't go. It didn't go as planned, because it was against the prophecy of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, because that's one thing the Lord has always set in place, man. When he decides something has to take place, it will take place. So all these folks that want to talk about, they want to make America great again, nah, it's not going to happen. America's on its way out, but the strength, is going to be there, but it's not going to be as heavy-handed as folks thought it was going to be, because the Lord has already set up America for defeat. All right, so all these weapons contractors, all this funding they keep on getting, they're just doing it to stay in business. Because at the end of the day, they can always set up shop somewhere else.
American experience. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
And that's one thing you have to be aware of, man. Your financial system, the military system, And then you also have the so-called uh, political system. All right, that's one thing you have to realize when you're reading the book of Revelations, chapter 16. Actually, yeah, verse 16. It tells you about the unclean spirits that came out of the mouth of the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. That's what it goes on to. So Esau has to maintain that dominion, and he has to tap into his so-called dark side to get there.
Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed.
So it's basically quoting from the scriptures when Yahweh talks about. So when did you see me hungry? When did you see me naked? When did you see me homeless and all that? So it just lets you know, man, these so-called presidents and the elites, they have an idea of what's going on, and they try to change the course, but they can't because the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has them under a serious mind control.
This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. The cost of one.
And you hear about the genius of his scientists. You hear about the smiths that build that build the weapons, that blow the coals in the fire. Yeah, so back then they had an idea of the holy scriptures because they had scholars that knew what certain passages of the scriptures meant.
Modern heavy bomber is this: a modern brick school in more than 30 cities. Is there no other way the
Hey, I rewind that.
genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children? The cost of one modern heavy bomber is this: a modern brick school in more than 30 cities. Is there no other way the world may live?
And that's a good question. That's a very good question. And that's one thing Esau doesn't understand. He refuses to accept that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai set America on a course to hold on to its weapons, its military structure, and to be the hammer of the earth. To beat people into submission and hand over their resources to the powerful elites that run Wall Street, that run Congress, that run basically all the governments upon the face of the earth. All right, so that's the point that I can hope you edified, and pray the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah allows you to get like old clips to highlight certain events and prophecy. Shalom, Akim.